Okay, time for reframe number 3. So the way that people would typically see themselves would be as a robot with a brain and some feelings stuck in the middle of the robot, and that there are limited interactions between the brain and those pesky things that we described before called feelings. But you know that that is not true because you've done this course. What is actually going on is that there is a complex and intricate ecosystem at play. And hopefully by this point, you've developed a respect for yourself and for the ecosystem that you're operating and the emotional processing unit that is affected by multiple factors all at the same time. You're not some simplistic robot with a brain and some feelings that are stuck in the way that are stopping you from moving forward in your path of life. This emotional processing unit affects everything, and its effectiveness to process its own emotions affect everything. So it has an impact on the ego, which of course has an impact on your self-perception, which will then of course have an impact on your moods, your resilience to stress, how you feel on a daily basis, whether you feel anxiety, depression, or joy and excitement, anticipation, or just plain calmness. This all feeds back in to the effectiveness of the emotional processing unit and its functioning. When it feeds back in, of course, over time, this creates beliefs, and these beliefs and moods and your self-perception affect your perceptual filters. And over time, this impacts your map of reality and what you choose to focus on. So there's a lot more to it than this. This is a gross oversimplification, and we haven't even mentioned CPTSD and emotional flashbacks at this point. But you can see there's a feedback loop at play. Now, the important part is how all of this affects cognition. If you use the tools that I've given you, then your emotional processing unit will be more effective in processing, and that will actually have a large impact on your cognition. So this is reframe number 3. If you want to be able to think more clearly, then you must learn to process your emotions. It will begin to affect your capacity to process thinking objectively and in a rational way much more effectively, very, very rapidly. So I want you to understand very clearly that there is a direct correlation between your capacity to process and clear your emotions and your capacity to think, to plan, to desire, to get shit done, and of course, to thrive. One of the things that people frequently complain of when I'm speaking to them is they can't get any traction in their lives. They can't move forward. And that's a lack of understanding that our capacity to process our emotions actually has a direct impact on our capacity to think clearly, to plan effectively, to desire goals. If you're completely blocked in your emotional processing unit and it's not functioning, you won't really desire anything other than an absence of pain. So it will actually switch back on your capacity to feel desire. When you feel desire, you experience motivation. That will mean you have the energy to get shit done effectively and to thrive and get on with the rest of your life.